Okay. So now this last part of the chapter 19. Uh, and the above that, what we talked is build up the noble character, right? Build up noble character in your within life, that says. And then what is the brief meaning of the build up the noble character means like keep the practice of the moral ethics. So, and then doing moral ethics practice or keeping that moral ethics, it's depend on some thoughts, some motivations. So that motivations is here. Um, so having shameful and then concerning others. So once you have that, so your moral ethics will be the good. So after you build up the moral ethics, then what do you do? So then, in order to welfare to others, what we do then cultivate compassion and then take actions of compassion. That's the saying here, right? So this is kind of order. So before you the cultivate compassion, so we must need to be reduce some kind of the gross level of negative thoughts, which is always lead the lack of moral ethics. So therefore, doing moral ethics will help you to reduce that kind of the gross level of bad intentions or that negative emotions, right? So, and then once you have the like so less or once you make the reduce or less having the negative emotion, then you will have able to cultivate compassion. Until then, it's difficult to cultivate compassion. So this is the order, right? And then. The common things confusing here is conversion between compassion and then compassion action. The most of people think the compassion action is the compassion. So for us, compassion action is the result of compassion. And what is the compassion is kind of a motivation. It's not the physical action. So therefore, last time I wrote the one quote, it's here said, don't act as a compassion, but let compassion, the compassion let you act. So do you understand that? Do not act as a compassion. So it will cause more suffering. But let compassion act your, direct to your like actions. So any actions you're taking to benefit to others, welfare to others, it's motivated or driven by compassion. There will be continuous. You can do it without any hesitating, without any tired, right? But once you have a lack of motivation, that compassion, but you really want to help others with the physical actions, but the motivation is not really strong, not really correct. But once you try to take physical action without the compassion or without the compassion motivation with the compassion, then it will make you easy tired, and then it's also not long lasting. You can give up easily because a lot of annoying things happening, right? So therefore, this is the very good to do like the orders. First, you cultivate the compassion, and then we take actions of compassion. So and then while cultivating compassion, you don't have to um, go in society and go in some community to help. You don't have to do that. Cultivation compassion is that making your mind more stronger. That you can do this practice within yourself, and you are just by yourself and by alone. You can do that. Don't have to be associated with any kind of beings or sentient beings or any kind of community or society. So then also it takes time to cultivate compassion, right? So yeah, it might be take time, long time, like years and years, right? But while you're cultivating compassion, you are not really taking the physical action, but you are still doing the compassion practice. So, and that will be the better way to do it. So otherwise, we are not really cultivating inside, but really wants to help by externally help. Then again, what I mentioned, it's not long lasting and it's not powerful, and even is not becoming the action of compassion. It's becoming action of empathy. You want to do it. You cannot see that someone have suffering, right? And then you want to do that help. So once you have some feeling that you don't want to see the other suffering, or you cannot wait when someone have a heavy suffering. This is the empathy is emotion. Empathy is not compassion. But most of our actions lead by empathy. That's true. But you look at that empathy also has some kind of bias. You will pick up the person who you want to help, right? But otherwise, the most of people have the same suffering, but you don't have any feeling equal for everyone, right? You only have the feeling for some individual person who you like, or having like a serious injury, something like that. It's just picking up the being who you want to help. Is that empathy is also bias. Therefore, what the actions lead by that empathy, which is bias and which is not actually compassion, then that action will be not long lasting. Does this make sense? Is this clear? Yeah, okay. So the first two line is I read the last class, so I'm not going to repeat that. Yeah. So and then so I'm going to read from the master, who I like to. Okay, let her read it. We got a new idea. Okay.
Master, I would like to request a method for cultivating compassion. It is great that you ask. Drum. Go into the presence of a sentient being oppressed by a powerful illness. Then, through your imagination, extend your attention to all sentient beings and think. Sentient beings have assumed this kind of bodily existence. With such a body, this kind of illness appears. On top of leprosy, they get boils. On top of these boils, they experience pain, and one pain is followed by another pain. In such a manner, they undergo this kind of agony alone. What a pity! Alas! These suffering beings are not unknown to others. These are my parents, who have given birth to me again and again. In this manner, cultivate compassion to the point that you cannot bear to see them suffering, as if your actual mother had fallen into a fire pit.
Okay, so now it's giving us like some kind of instruction how to cultivate compassion. So there are a few different methods, and then this is the more easiest one to cultivate compassion. Saying you go to like a hospital, or like the senior home, or the prison, wherever you go, you just go and just feel their suffering. This thing, right? They feel their suffering, and then after that, so you strongly wish, right? You strongly wish that they're free from their own individual suffering. So you wish again and again, again and again, right? So once you go like some kind of hospital or something, there are numerous people there who you know, who you don't know. So and but everyone in hospital, they have some kind of illness, suffering by the illness, right? And then, but you are looking into the equally, whoever there, not judged by gender, not judged by like a no racism, just being there. One being is there who suffer now. So look at that way, and then to wish strongly that how wonderful they are free from that kind of individual suffering. So again and again, and then you come back to your home, and then you remember those suffering. Do you remember those people very clearly? And then again, so wish them equally, right? So within these people who you see in the hospital, this is the example, right? Some might be attractive, some might not attractive, or some might like too much difficulty, someone not difficulty. But this is not how we judge it. We are not looking who's difficulty, who not difficulty. We are not looking the it's attractive or not attractive. We're just looking at as one sentient beings who are suffering there. So based on that, then you cultivate or you are building up that you generate that wish, the like a free from suffering. And then repeatedly you have to do it. So once you have a very good feeling, then absorb in that feeling while instead of just repeating those. And then again, if you're losing this feeling, then you have to repeat again that wish, how wonderful, free from suffering. I really want them free from suffering. No matter who they are, no matter who they comes from. Right? This is one sentient beings who are suffering now. And then I really want to free from them from suffering. That equally, nothing at any any different degrees, emotion degrees between different people. Just the economic that we said, right? Equally wish to them. Wish to them there are no differentiated between by any people. So that's how we need to begin it, right? So, and then, so additionally, sometimes we say if you in a high mountain and then you see all the town and villages down there, and look at there as how many beings there, includes sentient being, insects, and everything. You just look at there, and all those beings, they might have their own suffering right now. So, and no matter who they are, I really want to wish equal for everyone to free from suffering. So sometimes do that, right? And then well, I mentioned earlier when sometimes you go to mall and then there are a lot of people you see. Some people's like a happily like a shopping. Some people are just waiting something, or there's so many action you see, right? But you are try to wish them, those people, to all this like a stranger we never met or never know who they are. But some are enjoying, some are not enjoying, some are mood off, some are mood on. They're all the people. But you can equally wish to them to free from suffering. This is the very simple and easy way to cultivate compassion. But the point is, repeating is important. And then although also recognizing suffering is also important. So therefore, here's like say, good morning. It says like experience pain, and one pain is followed by another pain. So that kind of things we have to seize, right? And then sometimes it's help if you how much you understand the suffering of the individual person, that much your the wish will become more stronger, right? So but connecting, it's all this practice should be connecting inside to inside. It's not the word we're using, how wonderful word we using, that free from suffering. That's just the word, but we have to have experience or like a more connected by insight beyond the words. The word is helping us to what you think it, how we should think it, right? So, but actual it goes with a more experience, which is helped through by the words, right? So that's kind of practice. And then, okay, they continue saying, likewise, go into the presence of those who are suffering from poverty, what called deprivations, right? Deprivations, okay. Hunger and thirst, and who have no clothes, and cultivate compassion in the same manner. Even when remaining at home, reflect vividly upon the suffering of the hell beings and the hungry ghosts, and meditate upon the suffering of the point here where it's become unable. Then counter mental anxiety and excitations by meditating upon their antidotes, alternately as I presented previously. Okay. So one thing I need to clear about up there, it says, those are my parents. This is Buddhist. The Buddhist seeing everyone is our parents, right? But instead of that, you can see those are suffering. Instead of thinking those are my parents. It takes time to understanding those are my parents, right? And it's not necessary to accept it. Everyone is my parents. So, but clearly that we see there's one kind of human being that who is same as me, right? Who has an emotion, and then who suffering, and who always wish free from suffering, and then who always seeking the happiness in their life, exactly same as like me. I am the who like always seeking happiness in my life, and like really wants to free from suffering every single time, always be happy. That I wish it. So, and same, they are wish, whoever there. This is the same. So, as I wish it, and then I try to establish that my wish, then why I not also establish their wishes? And it's not just like without any reason you're thinking that. So you are more try to benefit to them to establish their wish is actually affect to you that your wish will be more accomplishes. Um, yeah, this is how bringing our own happiness, right? So therefore, instead of thinking the parents, think one kind of beings who are exactly same as me, and then again and additionally, those people who are suffer by many different type of suffering. So this is the what we have to think. It's not necessary to think parents, okay? So and then again here talks about the suffering of the beings, the hell beings and hungry ghosts. Those are again, it's like a beyond our thought, not necessary to accept those. But at least what we see in front of us, the human beings, animal beings, insects, those are we sees in front of us. Thus, we should accept it as we sees it. So therefore, again, even the insect, very small insect, have a same emotion and same wishes that what we have it, right? So otherwise, they have their own some kind of what called the protection, right? The unique for every beings has that kind of their own way to protect themselves. So see the insect and any animal, they try to protect themselves. They run when they scared, when they have a fear, they run, right? Same like an insect, and then whatever you see the insect under the rock, inside the tree, whatever insect you see, right? They run when they see their fears, and then they don't want to die, right? So and they don't want to suffer, they don't want to like harms by others, therefore they run. That clearly says that they do have an emotion, they're seeking happiness, they don't want to feel they don't want suffering. So they don't want to harm by anything, any others. Therefore, they are runs, and they're always looking for their own food. So this is not that the machine, right? Those are not machine, or those are not the robot. Actually being like us. So, and then they express a lot of their emotion, even the insect. That's we clearly sees. This is one being who wants to free from suffering. Then why I should harm, right? And that I should more wish to them, order to in cultivating my compassion, which is benefiting to me, right? So wish to them free from suffering. So that kind of things. Whatever we see in front of us, that we should accept. There no need any logic, and no need any reason to say, oh, these are being, but just see in front of us. So not necessary to accept hell beings and hungry ghost being. This is different issue, right? So the cultivation compassion, not necessary to have to understand those things. At least we have to understand the whatever sees in front of us, every single beings. So, and then understand their suffering, so that we can wish from inside and from death heart. We can wish sincerely to them free from suffering, because we understand their suffering and we accept it. So, okay. It is then counter mental anxiety and excitations by meditating upon their antidotes, alternately presented previously. Sorry. So this is again the simple way to cultivate compassion. Okay, is this clear now? Any suggestion, question on it? If you have any question, you can let me know. Okay. So, yeah, Jordan, go ahead, please.
I have a kind of specific question here, that I have developed a wish to help those who are creating what seems to me to be massive amounts of karma, negative karma, on a global scale. I'm sure we all know of people that we think are doing that. So I have found that a way that I can display my compassion is to be conscious of the future consequences of their negative karma and develop compassion for them based on that. So my question is that a negative thing for me to do? Because in a sense, I am making a judgment about their actions, about the consequences of their actions, the consequences that may not have yet taken place. And is it all right for me to discriminate in that way, or is that a negative thing for me to do?
When you see others thinking they're suffering, that's what you mean? Thinking they're suffering is negative, or something else?
Well, but their suffering might not yet have taken place. They're creating suffering for other people on this planet.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, it is.
So is it all right for me to develop compassion for the consequences of the karma, the negative karma that they are producing for themselves?
Okay, yes. So that's you can you can think that because most of the time we see the being are creating cause of suffering. That's we not counted. It's like they are suffer. Actually, when they created cause of suffering, it's more danger than having experienced suffering right now. So, because right now, whatever having suffering, it could be the very slight and gentle. But based on that, when they have negative thoughts and created another cause of suffering through by those action and motivation, so that could be brings them more heavier sufferings. So therefore, if we really concerning others free from suffering, we also must consider the cause of suffering which they are creating right now. So this is very important. So if you look at through by more that where the creating cause of suffering, then your compassion will be more stronger and better actually, instead of just thinking they are suffering result. The result is suffering, and it might have some cause. And what we say the cause is actually that action and motivation, whatever they've done before, is caused them have suffering, right? Is that you mean?
Yes, that certainly addresses part of it. But my worry is that for me to say, I look at the pain and suffering that this person is creating right now,
Mm-hmm.
and I am developing compassion for the future of that person who is creating so much suffering now, and looking at the suffering that person will, I think, undoubtedly have in the future.
Future means future will have suffering because right now they're creating cause of suffering
For other people.
for other people, or each like for you created or the other people created to others.
Okay.
What
So
do you mean?
my question is that my business? Is it my business to consider what the consequences of their actions will bring to them?
Mm.
Yeah, I think she's asking, is it biased if she thinks that that person is
Right.
causing,
Right.
and that she's concerned that, is that bias a bad thing?
My concern.
Yeah, I think yes, it is. The you mean judging, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Critically.
Yeah, judging means like which way? That's a little bit confused for me. But okay, still I'm not clear.
But she's talking about objective events. She's not talking, I don't
Yeah,
think she's talking about judging. She's talking about someone kills someone, that's an objective event. They have created negative karma for themselves.
Yes.
And she's wondering if it's okay to generate compassion based on the negative karma that they created. I don't think there's judgment there. I mean, if someone does
Well,
kill
what if
someone,
you-
they kill someone.
Oh, I
You've never
see.
perceived
I
the
see.
I don't think she's
situation.
only certain killing, she's saying
And
just
then you're just putting
anyone,
yourself through
if you
more
perceive
concern
somebody is
than
doing
you
something
do.
wrong.
Uh-huh.
That's what she's.
That's
It's not
what
killing,
I'm
killing
saying.
is doing.
I'm saying
Yes.
you might be putting
She
yourself
perceives
through more
something
concern
someone is doing
than is
wrong.
necessary.
Uh-huh.
Is it okay to judge that person? But then there is a little bias because somebody else might say they're not doing
That's
something
causing
wrong.
more harm.
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's also need to know the wrong and right. What way, which way do we describe the wrong and right? So here, wrong and right, describing whatever brings you suffering, those actions are wrong. Whatever brings you happy, those actions are right. So, and then happy, we are not thinking the temporarily happy, also like long-term happy. That's what we're thinking, right? So, so therefore, the based on understand that kind of right and wrong. So you seize and you observe that, and you wish them to like free from those cause and suffering itself is not the judging, because what they're doing wrong is wrong, and then you are not directly go to them saying, okay, you don't do that. You are just by yourself and thinking, I wish they don't do that. I wish not created the cause of suffering. I wish they will not have future suffering. All those kind of things you can constantly think it, and you can like repeatedly think it, but it's not. I don't think it's judging though. Yeah.
Yeah, but one person might say that that person is doing wrong, and another person might say that person is doing
Right, the
right.
perspective might be.
Yes.
So the
skewed.
perspective is completely different. So then who's right and who's wrong?
Right,
So this is again the right and wrong, what is like an actual fact is bringing the suffering, right?
Fact may not be, the result of an action may not be directly apparent right away. It might take much longer.
It is.
result. So to determine whether that action is causing suffering or not may not be clear enough right away.
Okay. So our experience in daily life, right? So like what the Buddhist said, the most of actions which is leaded by that anger and negative emotion are the cause of suffering. This is how we determine, right? We describe that. So, and then you have to analyze is really true or not. And then like 80%, 90% is true. That could be true. The 10% which you don't know, it could be true because that actions leaded by negative emotion, that actions leaded by the bad motivation or intentions. So then that actions affected to them have suffering in the future. That's kind of how we need to think logically. Right? So because in the future, we never know so many things that it really brings us suffering or not. But as we analyze what it talks, right? There are like many different way to talk the cause of suffering. And then you can analyze every single things. And then try to get experience those each one, right? So then you will go with the one point. Okay, this is more better for me. I think it is more right. What is wrong? What they say is wrong is wrong. What they say is right. So this is how I need to go. That kind of conclusions comes, right? If you more analyze. Sorry. So yeah. So therefore. Yeah, the right and wrong, like I say, the persons, I can take the Bin Laden's as an example, right? Many people say right to kill him. And there are people, like Islamic or like ISIS people, they say it's wrong to kill him. And they said they have a perspective to wrong to kill him. The other side have a perspective to right to kill him. But the killing him is the wrong. This is the wrong action. The killing, no matter what they done. Killing is the wrong actions. In the middle, we say. Two different perspectives there, that's true. But the killing is the what called the bad actions. But the behind motivation, again, we have to investigate. The behind motivation is right or wrong. Right? So the behind motivation could be to save the many people, therefore kill him. Right? So, but still, they do have a motivation to kill him. So that motivation is wrong. But another part of motivation is I'm killing him because of save the million and million people. That part of motivation is right. That's how we need to go, right? There are right motivations there or wrong motivations there. So, and then wrong actions there. This is exactly you can go back to see the Buddhist, one Bodhisattva kills the 500 people, right? So one Bodhisattva killed one people to save the 500 people. And then, but what we said is, what they kill the person is wrong. That will they will affected karma regarding Buddhism. They will have a negative karma. They will have a result suffering. It's a part of the action, the killing it. But behind the motivations to save the 500 people, that might be makes them the suffering is lighter. Even the action is the bad, it could be the lighter suffering, right? But at least it will have a suffering because it's killed. So therefore, what they're doing is the Bodhisattva who killed the one person who saved the 500. So actually, this sacrifice, They sacrifice their own future suffering. They say, I can have suffering, no problem, to save the 500 people, right? And another way, the killing these people is ending this life, but save even to that persons to create like killing 500. If the persons let kill the 500, that person might be created a lot of heavy negative karma, and then they have a continuously having suffering, right? So that's also saved. So it's saved like the person who's killing, that not let them create a negative karma, negative actions, and they save other person, 500 people's life. For that, I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to kill, even I know I will have a negative karma, I will kill it. So that kind of things, situations here. This is to talking here, right? Yeah.
Geshe-la,
Uh-huh.
part of my question remains, do we
Okay.
make an assumption about the consequences of someone's current negative actions? Are we creating negative karma for ourselves in an attempt to be compassionate about their future suffering?
Okay.
Well, it depends, right, Gisela, because it depends on the perspective that you're thinking, right?
Uh-huh.
And then like if you take any communication or action following that, then you would be sowing karma in one direction versus another.
She's asking if she makes a judgment, is that generating
Is she
a
generating
negative
negative
karma
karma?
for herself?
The
But
judgment,
that's
again,
actually-
she said the assumption, right? So the assumption about what? Assumption that you think this is wrong, or assumption that you think future will have suffering. What kind of assumption there?
Right,
So I think she's assuming that that person's actions are creating harm.
Uh-huh.
And by doing that, is she generating negative karma?
by thinking on it.
He just,
And for not killing, not necessarily killing,
Uh-huh.
maybe.
Uh-huh.
but
I don't think, yeah.
it's gonna create the negative karma anyway, no matter what your perspective is. If it's a negative action, it will create negative
Right,
karma.
that's
So
what I was
whether or not you
thinking.
have the right or wrong perspective, it's still appropriate to feel compassion for the suffering that they will feel. Even if
Right.
you're misunderstanding the situation or misguided, there's gonna be suffering.
Yeah,
You know,
I think there's a benefit to it.
I don't think anyone looks at someone
Yeah.
who's absolutely pristine in every way and says, oh, that they're doing, everybody's doing something. So even if you
Yeah.
even if you're way off base, you're still praying, you're still hoping that they don't
Doing-
experience the suffering that they may. I'm
Right,
just saying, I don't think the perspective really matters, because if it's gonna create bad
That's
karma, it's gonna
true.
create bad karma.
yeah, that's true, like.
And
So the Georgian, if you can give some example for me, that your remaining question, so it will be helpful.
I think she's withholding it on purpose.
Well, I,
You can
Right.
take something else, like someone else. Okay, this is this. As I take the Bin Laden as an example.
Right.
Yeah.
I
You
can
can-
do that, but I
Uh-huh.
don't want to, it's political right now. And
Yeah.
I don't
okay.
want to discuss specific persons, okay? But there are people in this world, not just in this country, who are creating enormous amounts of suffering for other people right now.
Mhm.
And we all know who I'm talking about, probably. But
Mhm.
But the question is not what are they doing, but the judgment or something that what they are doing is wrong because it creates so much suffering for other people right now.
Okay, that's circumstances you're talking about. So, so if you don't think silly as thinking that way, when we see someone like bring a lot of suffering in this country and people, then we should have more compassion for them, that person.
Okay.
So,
Alright.
right. So, but if you think doing it silly, but I don't have any answer for that. If you don't think it's silly, but that we have to do it.
Thank you. That helps me a great deal. Thanks, Jack.
Right. So yeah, because mentioned it earlier, the people who created more suffering in their future, yes, they created suffering to think right now, and if some point it's negative actions, then it also brings suffering to themselves. That's the way we have to be compassionate. So this is the object of compassion, right? Who have more suffering, who doing more negative actions. So then this is more what call yeah, we most curated suffering, therefore it's should be the object of our own compassion. It's we have more compassion or see to have think yeah, it's concerning other to think that, oh yeah, they created more negative karma and they're doing this and that, so kind of things, right? So again, I know I got your assumption means. So again, for safety for our own emotion, again, there are a lot of assumption there, that's true. And then a lot of worry there, which is comes through by the assumption. It's also true, right? So some worry might be worth, it might be comes really, some worry might be not, right? But we have a lot of worry, which is most go with the assumption. Oh, it's happening this, it's happening this because of that, because of this. So and then also I understand now different perspective, right? So okay. Yeah, okay, then it's good. Not too much on it. Yeah. Otherwise, we have to save our own emotions, and still they have access to save our community, and then save our life. There's a lot of opportunity there, right? So saving emotion is again the better analyze deeper, and then or not watch anything or don't listening anything, just be solitaries, all right? So make solitary your place, and then that's will be the save emotion, same time save our own suffering, right? Save emotion means that I'm talking about save our own suffering in the present and future. Yeah, so last class I mentioned, whenever I see these things, no surprise for me. As I mentioned, right? It's nothing surprise. So the time that degenerate that we said it, right? The degenerating time. And then beings, natural or their qualities. All this we learn it. What is their qualities? What is their nature? If they do this act, what happening it? As I mentioned, that we talks about samsara. That's what is samsara. That's all we learn it. So therefore, whatever happening in samsara, who creating cause of suffering or who having a lot of suffering, every single things which we see, when we see it, no surprise, no shock, because we accept it way beginning it's happening. So, but it's not that hopeless, right? We still do have a hope. Therefore, what I can suggest to all of us, right? So continuously cultivate compassion to victim and to created negative karma, both. The killer and who killed by, both are object of the compassion. So all the point, we just cultivate compassion. What happening in surrounding our in the environment and near me, that's okay. Whatever, just continuously cultivate compassion. This is the meaningful that using our life, right? So making our lives meaningful. So otherwise, if we becoming like the remote control toys, the
Robot.
doll, yeah, robot or remote control toys, if we become like this, then that life is no meaning, right? So our life is driven by here and there. Like I said, our life is in a windy. The flag in windy, we don't know which direction will be the move. It's very dependent on the wind, right? So if the strong iron, then wind cannot move anything, right? We clearly know which direction we can put it. So, but otherwise, the flag or like any kind of candlelight within a windy, we're not sure it's remaining or extinguishing or which direction will be moved. We never don't know, right? So this is how what we need to lifespan. Just let them drift here and there, or move here and there by community, by people, by politics, by like any kind of situations. If your life, if you really want to let them use it, then you can do this. It's like the flag in the wind. You understand what example, right? I'm saying, okay. So therefore, still we do have make strong. Still we have an opportunity to use my life for meaningful by my own way, right? My own control, my own decision. We do have that, right? So then why not you use your life for other welfares instead of the others using your life as like here and there, right? Up and down. So therefore, if more smart, if more like concerning yourself, then we must control our life and then try to use it meaningful, which is just whatever you think. The killer is object of compassion. The person who died by that kill, object of compassion. Both are object of compassion. There are no person that we should have anger, right? But yes, in nature, as we human beings, it comes. Anger comes. They're no matter. We judge that way. We have more anger to killer instead of who dies. We have more empathy to who dies. Never have empathy to killer, right? So if you look more further, investigate, then you will see same reason for both, right? So therefore, so use our own life for meaningful, which we have 100% control, not let them use my life as a meaningless. So now people are using my life is meaningless because every day having negative emotion, hear something news, right? And then judge, and then talks, create a lot of suffering again, and then ruin the life. The talks ruin the community. So because all the talks that speaks comes from negative emotion and negative thoughts, there are no nice word there, right? So all these are creating more suffering, and then we are also part of bringing more suffering in the community. Then why we judge them, only that person, or they are creating suffering in the community? If you do better your own way, cultivate compassion, or like more bring happiness and in people life, then you have a word to think, okay, they are doing bad. But if you are involved in that, you are the one of them who is like ruining our world and community, then what is different? Right? So am I saying right or wrong? So you don't don't see is reasonable, please let me know. We can further discussion. So yeah. And then again, what I'm saying is not simple and not easy. The cultivating compassion for both, right? That's not easy. But again, it's doable. And try not follow at the moment emotion when you see someone else. Like we yeah, again, we just see the kill, and this is the how we judge is bad. But I bring back that history that Bodhisattva killed one person to save 500 people. That part, we do not see that. We only see that Bodhisattva killed one person. And they're bad, very bad. But behind that, if they do for save the 500 people, they do for save the created negative karma by own people. There's people who killed it. So then our emotion will be changed. Isn't that? Our thought will be changed. But at the moment, what we see is, and then immediately judging is wrong, actually. But what is not change my statement, kill is wrong, is still remaining there. It's whatever, kill is wrong. But how we judge is more than it. So at least we will be not have strong judgment more beyond that actual fact. Right? The kill that we see it. But our judgmental is, again, big things, is beyond that. So that's we should take time, not easily judge it. But first moment, at the first moment when you see someone bullying each other, right, or someone fighting each other. So the first moment is see them as suffering. And then compassion. They will help you to see more clear what you have to do after that. Otherwise, immediately you are judging by what the negative emotion is blocked to have a great wisdom. Is blocked to have not further analyzing. If you cannot analyze anymore, then you are remaining always as a negative, which is not good for us, not good for them. Is this clear? Right? Yeah. So therefore, yes, of course, this is everywhere in the world. Everywhere in the world is being long time, not today. Every time is having something and something. What do we call wrong or negative? Everywhere and every time. Sometimes we see, sometimes we do not see. Right? It's like, for example, like this. You will see more mistaken who staying near to you, close to you. You will not see who doing mistake and wrong, who far from you. And then you don't have any connection with it. You have only connected with the who close to you, who near to you. Then you constantly seeing that what they're doing wrong, what they're doing mistake, and that will lot of judging. But beyond that, this is not only one piece in the world. Others are doing exactly the same. There are a lot of people doing exactly mistake and exactly wrong. They are numerous. This is common, right? Then stopping them is stopping yourself. It's the first step, right? That's usually the Buddhist said it, right? If you really want to change them, we don't know how much we can change it. The outside there. But at least you can change yourself. Once you change yourself, then you will become able to change them. If you not change yourself, you don't have any able to change them. So then just remaining circling within suffering. That's how I said it. Okay, so Georgian is clear?
Yes, thank you. I
Okay.
would just like to share that I have found that a way to begin my practice in this daily basis is to think about animals who are at the top of the food chain, who don't have any natural predators like a polar bear or a tiger or a crocodile or a shark. Have compassion for them because they kill for food. You know, it's not because they don't like someone. They kill for food or because they're being harmed by someone else, but that's less likely. And I find that easier as my sort of way in I find it easier to have compassion for that killer as well as the prey than I do for humans who do the same thing, because we're not just killing for food.
Yes. So then again, we can go back to the see intention. What we're judging is intently did it, or they don't have an intention like to do bad things. They survive for life, therefore kill it. Someone intently do bad things. So, but regarding Buddhism, Buddhists saying even the intently doing bad things, think that intention is driven by what? What is the source of that intention? That's the one things we can see. Animal, the source of intention is surviving life, right? Which is ignorance, or which is I don't know if is it unreasonable to analyze, but if you know they are without eating meat, there are so many things can eat it, right? So the grass and so many the wild fruits there, many things there in the jungle, right? But the question is, how come some animal has to be necessary eat the meat? Oh, so that's kind of questions that I don't know we should analyze on it or not. But regarding Buddhism is saying it's karma, but still we can think it on it. But this is not my main point. My main point is, yes, the intentions, even do the intentions have their bad intentions, but we should also think the source of intentions. They have an intention by freely, without any ignorance, their intentions has a great wisdom or not. Their intentions goes with compassion or not, right? So that's also look at one point. So if you see the intentions driven by more some kind of negative emotion, which is out of our control, then that could be the forgive or excuse for them, right? Excuse for them means what they're doing is we're not saying right. Excuse them is forgive them means not hold it as a negative person, just change it to as a compassion object. That's the saying, the forgiveness, right? And then if we change as a object of compassion, we are not losing anything. Are we? Are we losing anything if we hold them as an object of compassion? What are we losing it? Yeah.
Like I'm just trying to think of an example where it feels that you are losing something.
Uh-huh.
So let's suppose that I have an apple that I'm gonna feed my family and somebody steals it. I don't know, you can have compassion, their intent for stealing was because they were hungry. I have compassion for that.
Yeah.
But then if I allow them to keep the apple, then my family goes hungry.
Uh-huh.
So how do you kind of reconcile kind of those, like, sometimes I struggle with what's the action. I have compassion for you because you're hungry,
Uh-huh.
but I need that apple because otherwise my family is hungry.
This is the only way to survive your family.
But I'm just trying to keep
Just example, right? Okay.
Because I find that often is that compassion for me sometimes turns into passiveness or complacency, which is, well, then your needs are more important than mine, and that's okay.
It is dependent, surviving our own family through by some individual job, right? So, and then like some individual things, we just say computer, and then you lose it. So there, even you have the compassion to that person who steal it, but you can take back, right? You can take back through by the so many access that we're founding, right? So if possible, and then we lose it, then it's impossible to get back. Then why reason to worry then, right? So someone steal it, and then it's no way to getting back that the computer laptop, right? So then what are you going to do that after that? You still wish them to have, you still have anger, or you still like a wants to harm them? What motivations in their movements? They are nowhere to get back.
You could go to the police and police could arrest them.
Yeah, they are no way to get
Okay,
back.
all right.
They are no way to get back. Then what are you going to do it?
Yeah, there's no place to go. All right.
Yeah, your emotion going to change, or you're not? Your emotion remaining as like you have anger, you worry or fear.
I think in that case, I would still be angry that they had it, but
Of course,
I think
yeah.
your point is there's no point to hold that anger because it's not doing anything.
Yeah, not doing anything. No need. You can't do anything, right? So at the point, it's good things. Change all this our fear and worry, right? So what we can do it. Okay, whoever took my laptop, I wish them have a useful. It's not like you are like sincerely wishing for them, but this is the one best way to do it at the moment to change your negative emotion or fear, right? Just let it go. So let it go means like because not getting at all, right? No matter what you do, not getting back. Then only the left is let it go. Let it go with, wish some kind of compassion, and at least that person. Okay. If I say a person will be happy, then we are not happy, right? Okay. At least you save your emotion. Right? If you just let it go with the strong wish and compassionate, that's okay. I wish and I hope that person can find my laptop useful. Right? So that's the things, right? But still, if you have any way to getting back, even you are cultivating compassion, you must do that. You don't have to just give it, because it's like your ability, right? Your capacity is not that strong to giving them that what I lost. You understand what I'm saying, right?
So you can be compassionate that they took it, but if you knew where their house was, you could go and take it back.
Yes. Even compassion, you can do that. Yeah. So, but how connected with the compassion, even like you getting back? So, because they steal it, but once you get back, you don't have to harm to them, or you don't have to scoring to them. At least you get your laptop. Then we can explain, this is my life, this is my family's life, therefore I have to take it. Sorry. Then it's all silly. It's all silly things. Yes, we might see it silly, but a little bit deeper we think. At least not cause further revenge, not cause further harmful doing this, using this word. I'm sorry I have to take it because it's suffering my life. So whoever is still, they do have an emotion too. They do have some kind of the good quality too, right? So if we explain that way, they might build empathy, or them at least they will not come back to you harms again. They will not come back to you text this again. Possible, right? So at least it's safe. We're using that word is a safe to the future, safe for future. Otherwise, yes, we have a right to scold it. We have a right to fight back. We have a right to punish. We all this can do that. But doing this, and what reverse, what affections we have to consider on it. If you skillful way to do that, that's fine then. But at least we have to see whatever I'm taking action right now, it's not affected me back. That's what we have considering, right? So based on that, you should take action, either give punishment or not punishment. So you giving punishment, then think it's not affecting me, it's ending forever, then you can give punishment. Or giving more punishment will cause more problem, then we have to consider on it. What do you think? What I'm talking, it's big things, yes, the big picture actually, right? It's getting there is big, but it's good to get there. And then you can step by step the process to get there. You can begin to practice to get there. It's very much doable, and then it's possible. Yeah.
I think everyone has something in their life, in their past or their memory that they can recall where they feel that they've been harmed by someone. And if we use that as our focus on this practice, it seems a lot easier than doing it as things arise. Like when something comes up in during the day, somebody wrongs you, or so you perceive it that way. That's a hard time to practice. You can do it, but everything is very fleeting and reactive. But okay, so just for example, I literally gave away my laptop to someone thinking I was doing something good. That laptop didn't need it, gave it to someone who needed it. They screwed me financially. Months later, they did something really, really nasty to me. So of course I'm like, I can't believe I gave them that computer, right? But I use that very fixed moment that won't change, that is always the way it was, to practice checking that emotion as soon as I have it, saying I hope he's benefiting from it, a separate event, But when things come up, it's very hard to be like, oh, now I'm going to practice compassion for this person. So, I mean, it's just, I think everybody shares something in their life that they always feel resentful about. That you can go back to when you're meditating or post-meditation, and not wait for something crazy to happen so that they can see if you can be compassionate in that moment. That's true. A good test, but it's maybe not good practice.
Yeah. So most of the time we see the compassion as silly because we are not exactly know the compassion is possible. If you read His Holiness Dalai Lama's book, The Beyond Religions, it talks about the compassion with judgment. I mean, like compassion with punishment, compassion with what they say. What you're writing for your own right things, you're fighting for your own right. It means like with compassion, you can do so many actions.
Selfish justice.
What's that?
Selfish compassion.
There are no selfish compassion.
No, the word.
What I'm saying is you can fight for your own right.
Like justice?
Justice, thank you. So compassion with justice. Compassion can go with justice. Compassion can go with the punishment. Compassion can go with so many actions. Right? All these actions don't have to stop once you really wants to do practice. Only the try to changing your motivation with those actions. This is the point. The compassion, like a punishment. Right now, we are giving punishment with anger. Once we give a punishment with anger, even we hit, very strong hits, right? If you like giving punishment with a compassion, once you hit, that not that strong. But the hitting is same. You putting jail is same, right? You are looking after in prison, in jail is same. But with the compassion, it's more because all the point why we giving them punishment. We want them change. We want them don't do it again. Right? This is the point, isn't it? So then there are many other ways to change them. There are many other ways to, don't do that. Not let them do again. Yes.
Then can I just, not as punishment, but withdraw from the situation, still have compassion for them, but say, I can't be in this situation and have those negative emotions towards them. And deal with my own life and be at peace with myself without their influence on my life. So I mean, this would be more personal, but also global. If the situation Radim was talking about, if I said, the way I'm going to get out is I'm going to leave the political situation, I'm going to move to another country. I still have compassion for those people, but I'm withdrawing myself from that. Is that still, am I creating a negative karma in the way? It's
not negative karma because you're careful, right? It's not harms for anyone's. because you stay away from there because you're not strong enough. But from far, you still being compassion. It's very positive, very positive. There are nothing at negative at all. So, so the moving somewhere is your right thing to do it, and it's not harms country, it's not harms anyone else, right? Maybe your family, it depends, right? So otherwise, yeah, I see very positive to do that because as far as you hold as an object of compassion, they're positive, right? So that's yeah. So therefore, do not think cultivating compassion or practicing compassion is you're losing everything or you're becoming more weakness or you're becoming more silly. Yeah, because only the motivation changing, that's it all. After that, based on motivation, if you are leader of the community, you do exactly how you lead it generally. You know, so they come late, you punish whatever they have it. But inside motivation should be compassion. That's the saying, right? So inside motivation shouldn't have at least shouldn't have anger. You come late. So if you have anger, your face will change, your expression will change, your attitude will change. It's more harms them there, harming them to another punish that have general punishment they have, right? You become late, 5 minutes late. There was some kind of rule and regulation. Okay, you will not get the 7 or it's like money, right? So that's if this is the punishment and rule, it's general. Everyone accept that. Plus, if you show more or all the bad attitude, it's more harms. Otherwise, just leave it alone. Whatever they are like rule, it makes them annoying, but they will accept as I come late, it will happening. I know that. Nothing harms more, right? So therefore, at least you have a compassion at the moment, even come late, or even someone not exactly doing work, whatever to do should be doing. But with compassion, you can tell them to do it. With compassion, you can punish to them. The motivation should be compassion. That's all point saying it here. So, yeah, Janet is here. Janet is very interesting to hear that. So, the Buddha, it's a very calmness. The Buddha statue, you see this calm, but we do have wrathfuls, some deities. We accept it. Buddhists accept the wrathful deities. No matter how much wrathful, having like a fang, big eyes, and like a red face, very like the scary face, but still inside compassion. So even we read our like a line by practicing those kind of deity, but always mentioning inside compassion, inside compassion, inside compassion. So therefore, based on compassion, they turn their face very scary because someone need that to tempt or change. Gentle is not always work for everyone, right? Yeah, therefore, someone needs some kind of wrathful, but whoever taking action, the wrathful, hold with the compassion is the important. There's a saying here. All right. So yes, for myself, when I take like a wrathful action for my student in India, when I had a lot of thinking myself, at the first moment, yes, anger is there, very much ignoring there, hesitating is there. At the moment, when I immediately react to my anger, right? When I check back the motivation, yes, anger is there. But what makes me different is easily recognizes and then change it. Okay, no, it's bad. No, it's bad. Then I can go back easily and simply, right? Sometimes I can stop before it comes. Sometimes anger comes, but after I express it, then I say, oh, I'm doing wrong, right? So change my anger. So then there might be surprises, suddenly becoming gentle, and then suddenly become gentle. So this is the how we need to go process to cultivate compassion. The way beginning, you never notice it, what you have anger in the moment. you will continuously show it, and then months and months, right? And then you do more practice about that, then that having anger will be the more shorter, right? And then and shorter, then you will realize, and the movement is not good to do that. And then you can stop immediately. Right? The first reason is it's not good to do that. First reason is not that I have compassion. First reason is not good to do that. Then you say, why not good to do that? Because they are suffering. Because I'm harming them. Then it slowly goes with the connect to the compassion. So, and then once we completely cultivate compassion, and then every movement will be compassion remaining with us. Every motivation is connected with the compassion. Then at the first moment, I don't do that because of compassion. It comes that. But who do not have that, as me, I don't have that compassion strong. Therefore, it takes time to get that. But at least I see it's good that I can immediately stop it when I realize the moment. We're getting there, right? So, okay, is this clear?
Is Geshe-la,
Uh-huh.
could you please repeat the title of what you were suggesting that we read?
Beyond religion.
Or the beyond the religions.
By Dalai Lama.
Yeah. The by his own is Dalai Lama, yeah.
I'm sorry, one more time, please.
The beyond the religions.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I have to stop here. Sorry. I thought I'm going to finish this today. Yeah. But next Sunday, sorry, I'm going to stop here. Yeah. So next Sunday, I will be not here. I'm requesting to the nun, Anitendra, to take my place. Then follow, I'll be back. Next Sunday, I'm going to California.